question came in from one of our viewers. Every year my property taxes go up, but the value of my property, in this sense, a vehicle, goes down. How will you combat that? Shannon?
I would like to get rid of taxes across the board, all property taxes. I think it's a scam that I have a house that I have to pay taxes for every year when I've already bought it. And if I don't pay for it, you're going to come in and take it from me and then sell it to someone else for like pennies on the dollar just to get whatever I owed you. So you're going to steal my home. Yeah, I'm just not in. Just none of it sounds even legal. I don't know how they can do that.
It's like paying rent to the government.
You're paying rent to the government even though you own it.
Well, then who really owns it, right?
You don't.
How about you, Mike? What are your thoughts on that? What will you do to help that aspect of our broken society?
Yeah, I mean, well, one kind of going back to what it would mean if either of us are elected governor of North Carolina, essentially being a mandate from the people. I think some common sense changes, at least when it comes to, just the regular property tax. Because that's one, most people in the United States pay property tax on their house. There's a lot of states you don't pay property tax on your car, on your boat, on your motorcycle. We do here. I think that we have to look at that and stop. In many cases, especially with lower end vehicles, you're often seeing more paid in property tax over the vehicle than the initial purchase price of the vehicle, especially when you see late model cars that are starting to change and you have these fixed fees. I think we need to do away with that. And we should probably talk about tackling the fees that are basically just taxes disguised as something else. But, the registration fee that we're paying. Why can't we pay that every 5 years, every 10 years for the life of the car? Or at least until, you buy a brand new car, at least till the warranty's over where all that stuff's being covered. But again, I think that comes down to what I view as the evil of the state, and the reason that it's able to keep poor people poor is you have these layers of things that come in. And again, the millionaire, does he really care if he has to pay, an extra $50, $75 on a car every year? No. But that single mother who just got her first car and is worried about how she's going to change the oil in it before it becomes a real problem, who's having to pay that, those are the people who suffer from these things. So you have to do away with those. If you don't, you're never going to allow economic freedom to be an opportunity for these people. And when you look at what the government's doing, they're moving more and more towards these ideas of socialism. And that's one thing. I have a lot of friends on the left. I am very much anti-socialism, anti-communism, because I know what it ultimately leads to. As soon as we switch to a system where everybody is getting something from the government, that's what every campaign comes for, going forward. That was my big hit on the Forward Party with UBI. As soon as UBI becomes the law of the land, that's the only thing politicians complain on. Vote for me, I'm going to give you more money. I'm going to increase your UBI. Where if you do away with that, I believe that true free markets will elevate people better than government can, better than socialism can. And I think that what we need to do is get all the government barriers out of the way that are stopping people from realizing that. Because if you see real change in that person who you thought, boy, they've got a really bad financial situation, and you take all those barriers out and you look over and you're like, wow, they've elevated themselves to the middle class. Now more and more people are going to realize that that's possible. The problem is the government has put so many barriers in there that what should be nice and easy is incredibly difficult for regular people.
What was it that Margaret Thatcher said about socialism? Problem with it is eventually you run out of other people's money.